Alrighty, we are back. Welcome to WGRZ Plus. It's been a half hour since the polls have closed here in Erie County, and so hopefully now we're starting to get some local results in.
And a man with some of those numbers is Nate Benson. He's in our newsroom tonight where a team of 2 On Your Side members are gathering the latest results. What's happening now, Nate?
Well, Scott and Mary Alice, if you were watching any of the earlier newscasts, you said I'd be rolling the sleeves up if the chaos begins. And the second this live hit's over, I'm going to be rolling the sleeves up. Erie County coming in a lot slower than in previous years. We're seeing some information trickle in right now, but there's a couple things I want to point out right now. Associated Press calling New York State Senate, Kirsten Gillibrand retaining her seat with 1.7 million votes, 30% reporting right now. New York State Prop 1, of course, that was hotly debated. We had a long-form story about this on WGRZ.com in explaining what it does. Right now, 73% of New Yorkers are supporting Proposition 1. Only 27% are voting against it, with 26% reporting. So certainly very early, but a commanding lead for support across the state right now for Proposition 1. And my great team here around the desk who are kind of going through every Board of Elections website right now, culling all of that data and bringing it together. We just got a big data dump from Erie County within the last few seconds, actually. So we're going to be updating those numbers too, taking a look when I come back to the Erie County District Attorney race. I know there's a lot of interest in that. Very tight race, I would imagine. So we're going to look at those numbers here shortly, and we'll get back to you, Scott and Mary Alice, in just a few minutes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Nate.
All right, thank you very much, Nate. We're going to check in now with Rob Hackford. He is here in studio once again. He's got some new numbers coming in there, right, Rob?
Yeah, guys, we've been looking at the congressional races in our area, 24th, 23rd as well, with Nick Langworthy here. 33% reporting in Chautauqua County, so still a long ways to go here. But again, that margin about 60% to 40% versus his opponent, Thomas Carl there. Cattaraugus County, the first numbers here, 23% of the votes counted. So still, again, a long ways to go, but about 60-40 again for the breakdown. Let's switch over here to the Lakes District, as it's called, stretching from Lake Erie to the eastern end of Lake Ontario. Some of the early numbers here, Claudia Tenney, again, dominating here. She was expected to win this race, 63% to 36.9% for her opponent, David Wagenhauser. Again, similar in Niagara County, down in Livingston, almost identical as well. So a lot of things falling into line here. But again, as Nate mentioned, we're still waiting on results for Erie County here. This number, 0, been like that the majority of the night or the entire time since polls closed at 9 o'clock. So still waiting on numbers there. Don't really know what the holdup is at this point, but we're going to be reaching out to some county officials to see what the issue may be or why that delay has been like that. It might just be that they're being dumped in, as Nate had kind of indicated. But this is the larger look at the map right now. New York has been called by the Associated Press for Vice President Kamala Harris, just with the incredible population difference between upstate and downstate here. Counties like Manhattan reporting 421,000 votes towards Harris versus 85,000 for former President Trump. So not really a surprise here. The state has been called. That was called right around 9 p.m. again, as we kind of expected with this state. But across the country, we are getting other numbers in. I was mentioning Virginia, which is about 50-50 at this point. Actually, Kamala Harris was leading here just a second ago. Donald Trump has now pulled in the lead with about 57% of the votes reporting. Up here in the D.C. area, we got Fairfax County and a few other Loudoun County, more populated places. Those typically lean towards Harris, but you got the large swath of Republican out towards the western part of the state. We'll continue to see how that changes here. So let's flip back to the big board here. And North Carolina, that's another one that we're about 50-50 right now, 51 to 47.9. Actually, another change here in the past few minutes, about 60% of the vote coming in there. Not exactly what the Harris campaign would want to see at this hour. Pennsylvania looks a little better in that regard. We had a big dump of information come in for them. Let me flip back to Pennsylvania here. And that one right now is leaning Harris, but we are very tight in a lot of these more rural counties. Lancaster County is one of them that we're going to be looking towards. Erie, Pennsylvania as well, largely determined to be or largely deemed a bellwether in these sorts of races or presidential races, but there are very few votes being counted there right now. So lots to go here. 28% across the state, with places in Pittsburgh, areas around Philadelphia reporting a lot more votes at this point. And we mentioned that the race for Kirsten Gillibrand, the U.S. Senate, has been called at that point. We have some sound as well, or an interview that we did with about the impact that the flipping of the Senate could have. If we could bring that sound up, that would be great. That was with a UB professor talking about how that change could impact kind of the dynamics here in New York State with Senator Schumer, currently the majority leader. That might change things up. Reestablish some priorities as well in the U.S. Senate. The CHIPS and Science Act, some comments made about that. That is a big investment in New York State across the thruway from Syracuse to Rochester to here in Buffalo as well. But as this board continues to fill up, the lead for former President Trump is gaining significantly.